Hello, I'm Dana, and this is Serafina. Welcome to Tuesday Tips for Leaders of Volunteers. Something that is absolutely possible with these smartphones and the level of consumer technology that most of us have access to these days is pretty high quality, if not actual HD high def video function within most smartphones. And since you've got that level of technology, you can use something like I'm using right now, a really simple ring light. Usually a ring light setup is, $100 or $200 if your agency is going to be creating a lot of content. If you do not already have something like a ring light, that's a great investment. That's something that's pretty easy on the budget to invest in, that's worthwhile. If you're having something like this room that I'm in right now that is an easy backdrop to add graphics to and is pretty well insulated from outside sounds. If you're filming something outside, like in previous sections of this video, you take the chance that a dog is barking or a car is driving by or an airplane's going over or some other noise occurs, someone's talking in the background or walking by. That just adds to the production time and number of takes, number of times you have to try to record something to get a good result. It's always easier to control your light and your sound when you are indoors. And to make sure that the light is coming at your face in a soft way, if it's coming from a window, that it's not doing, one side of your face in shadow, the other side very brightly lit. We call that a soft light, so make sure that you have a soft light. Again, the sound quality in most smartphones or consumer technology around video is, I don't need to have a lavalier or an extra microphone. You can if you want to. It's great. It just makes another little complication of something else to do to both control the quality of your sound, so that's the advantage, and have something else that can go wrong or can malfunction if you're depending on it, and something else for the editor, again, whether it's a pro bono volunteer or you've hired an editor to work with. So figure out what kind of technology you have, and you probably can get a pretty great result with just the phone that you have for your person, and telling your volunteers or other people who might be pre-recording something to add content to your production a couple little tips of, hey, don't have something that's coming at an unflattering angle. Don't have something that's too steep down or too steep up. Pretty straight on or a little bit above is usually the most flattering angle. Taking a quick look in the mirror before you produce something. It's sometimes not easy to look at ourselves or hear the sound of our own voice, but it's absolutely worth it to just, run a brush through the hair, maybe a little light foundation makeup. If you're using artificial light or it's really strong light from outside, that just helps everybody see your facial expressions and understand what's going on in the video. Whatever type of production you're doing, the best platforms to use are, again, pre-recording on a smartphone and sending files through sites like WeTransfer, which is for free for large files, or G Drive. You can usually transfer files over Google, or you might have Dropbox or something like that. But the main thing to think about is if you are broadcasting a live event, there's going to be a lag time. That's just the laws of physics. So depending on how much you are trying to coordinate people speaking together, it's difficult but not impossible to coordinate live music playing together, but pre-recorded music or soundtrack is ideal if that's an element in what you're producing for an event or an ongoing series. But when you're going out live, in my experience, I don't work for any of these companies, it really is ideal if you're using Zoom that can broadcast automatically out to YouTube and a bunch of other social media channels simultaneously. That's probably the way to do it is, for example, a Zoom broadcasting live out to YouTube. There are also services usually paid services, or sometimes there's a free trial or very low cost tier that will take your Zoom recording, meeting, broadcast, and put that streaming live, typically with about a 30 to 60 second delay. I've usually found it has set to a 30-second delay, so you can try to fix things on the fly, out to any social media platform, including Facebook Live. What doesn't always work, although it's still pretty popular to use, is trying to do an entire event just with Facebook Live. Now, there are a number of issues, not the least of which is it tends to have a lot of lag time. Lag time is impacted by the speed and quality of the internet connection of whomever is broadcasting, but it also has to do with different apps and platforms having kind of the water pressure of how they're sending their signal out. So I personally have encountered quite a lot of problems using Facebook Live, and if you are using any music, whether it's pre-recorded or original, that also can cause problems where just the signal cuts in and out, you can't hear it clearly, and also Facebook, because of pressure from very many music publishing companies, they're really strict about music copyright. So if you do not have the rights, or this is not absolutely original music, and you're trying to broadcast it on Facebook Live, that's probably going to be a pretty major shutdown, and you might get your whole production stopped. So typically using something like Zoom or the online meeting platform of your choice, and then using a streaming bundling service to broadcast it out is going to be the best bet. I've had a lot of friends and colleagues have good results using Twitch. Now, Twitch is a platform and a website that is typically and mostly used for online gaming, but because it's used for online gaming, it's developed a really great technology to reduce that live lag time and live response time. So more and more nonprofits, especially theater groups or performance groups or celebrations of volunteers, are actually broadcasting pretty directly from wherever they're videoing to Twitch to get the best, most reduced lag time possible for their event.